Hey, yeah, it is October 15th, 2025, and we don't have a lot of transits that occurred today. However, this energy is really potent, and it kind of leads into the energies that's happening later on in the week, which is why I still wanted to talk about it. I am going to be pulling a card for the days because we don't have that many transits that occur today. Now, most of the transits that occur have already passed, but we do have the moon in conjunct the north node that is coming up shortly. So before I get into that, I do want to state that any time that I mention is going to be Eastern Standard Time, and you can convert that into your own time zone. So let's get into it. First, we had at 4:40 a.m., we had the moon in Leo square Mercury in Scorpio. Now, this energy, for sure, for me, I woke up feeling a lot of this energy, a lot of downloads. Now, I personally wasn't in a space of feeling angry or anything like that, but I could feel a massive shift of collective, sacred rage, frustration. Even I wouldn't be surprised if there's certain messages that come through that's really aggressive, people speaking aggressively or hosting an energy of animosity or resentment and that type of vindictive type of persona. So that's something that even though that transit already occurred, it could be lingering throughout the day because of how closely Mercury and Mars is in the sign of Scorpio right now, how close they are, and the other transits that we're going to have later on in the week. So please keep in mind that Mercury is also communication and travel. And so for me, it was a lot of downloads. Maybe for some of you, this could have been because it was a square. Maybe some of y'all were sleeping or in meditation, getting some messages that were really heavy of even telling of certain secrets. I would even say, with the moon squaring Mars at 10:49 a.m. and Mercury being so close there, this could lead to certain even accidents throughout the day. So you want to be mindful. This could be road rage. And accidents, it could be car accidents. Mars is also putting in that energy of inflammation. So some of you may be dealing with headaches or even colon issues, whether that's constipation or even diarrhea. Some of y'all may, if you're on your menstruation cycle at this time, it can be a lot more intense, a lot heavier. So sisters, if you are, please take this time to be gentle with your reproductive system, be gentle with your womb space, be gentle with your mind. Even if you're not a person that naturally gets headaches, I wouldn't be surprised if you're getting headaches at this time. So you want to stay hydrated. That's very important with these transits here. And so inflammation, during your cycle, you're already, purging so much. And Scorpio is also ruling the reproductive system in that space. For some of you, unfortunately, and my condolences if this is you, but this is, issues that can possibly lead to either miscarriages or abortions or just high stress levels that can cause issues in that area in your reproductive system. So you definitely want to take extra time to protect your peace, protect your energy, and keep yourself in a more healthier environment if you could, as with this energy. For some of you, you could be just receiving some hard news or just challenging energies overall. Here, there could be a lot of frustration. I think I did mention road rage, but even being mindful of any surgery that has to get done at this time. it's also likely that you could have had either dreams or news coming in regards to like death and transformation, type of information, news coming towards you, especially with Mercury being in the sign of Scorpio. And then we have at 2:29 p.m., we have the moon in Leo in conjunct the North Node. And again, as I mentioned to y'all in the past, the North Node energy sometimes is considered a malefic energy only because it's very uncomfortable. It's something that is challenging to your status quo. It's challenging to your comfortability in that space, although it is a benefactor. It's both, in the sense where this is the energy that you need to be directing your energy to. This is where your focus needs to be. And with the moon in Leo being in conjunct the North Node, this can be where possibly you're getting tested as to how committed you are or loyal you are towards your goals or your ambitions, or that which is to bring you success and stability moving forward. And so it's going to be very important that you, despite the squares and the challenges that's occurring on this energy today, that you hold your vision. You hold your vision, you trust your path. If you need any spiritual guidance, I would highly recommend that you allow yourself to either get into a meditative state or go to a very trusted spiritual advisor, such as myself and others that you are already connected with and aware that they're working from a space of integrity. Because a lot of people are going to be energetically like leaking and spilling and frustrated with these transits, and they could even be spiritual advisors and whatnot. We're all having a human experience. And so if you see that the spiritual advisor that you are dealing with is holding that energy, it could be as simple as just either hold space with them and let them be, or, do what you need to do to kind of separate yourself from this situation just for a moment. If it's for a day, whatever the case may be, let them go through what they need to go through. And you do what is necessary to protect your peace, to protect your energy, and either just trust in yourself, or go to a space if you are being guided to another, whether it's another healer or reader or oracle, whatever the case, whatever label it is. If you're being guided at that time to someone else, it could just be a temporary thing. Maybe it's a long-term thing. Whatever the case may be, you definitely want to honor your intuition in this space and trust in your journey, in your path, and moving forward, and not let someone else project their frustrations onto you. But it is also like a massive wake-up call that's happening in the collective with these squares and the in conjunction to the North Node, that nothing changes if nothing changes. And it's completely okay if a spiritual healer is angry and frustrated and dealing with sacred rage, because there is a lot of tension that is out there in the collective, and it needs to be transmuted and transformed. And a lot of people are either just ignoring it, or they're not knowing how to transform and alchemize this energy. And so again, nothing changes if nothing changes. And the moon in conjunction states that, right? Like, if you want change, you have to be the change. And so this is a massive invitation to get into the cocoon space rather than being the caterpillar and just consuming. And if you're in the social butterfly phase, this could be as simple as either holding space for others in the collective and guiding them through this transformation. Or this could even be like being a deliverer or messenger of like harsh news, or part of the wake up call, or like just keeping it real, speaking the truth and putting it out there. Because it is definitely necessary at this time for the collective. It could be, finding conflict resolution, or just, calling a spade, whatever it may be. So let's get into the general collective message. I did see, and the North Node is in Pisces. I did see the Hermit cards for a moment here. Let's see. Oh, that's too many. Let me get just one card here, Spirit, for October 15th. There we go. Yeah. So we have the Death card. Okay. So with the Death card, that's the number 13, and it's literally 1:33 p.m. So 1-3 can be very significant. 3s could be significance. 1s could be significance for you. But as stated, this energy is very much about the shadows right now that need to be transformed, the endings that need to be embraced and put to rest, that which is not serving you, and go into the spaces that are. And you may be feeling stuck, or you may be feeling challenged. You may be feeling like it's difficult to move with the your resources or the energies that's being presented, or certain news. Maybe you're waiting on some news and it's causing like your patience to kind of feel dissolved, and your anticipation is causing you maybe either a little bit more stress, or causing it could, like as mentioned, the headaches, or just even frustrations. So it's just a mindfulness of the death and transformation energy with the 13. The moon squaring Mercury in Scorpio. This could also be, asking questions to that which you do not know, but being curious about. So allowing yourself to challenge the status quo of what seems to be every day. What this energy also with the square to Mercury and the square to Mars, this can be like a power trip, like some people going on a power trip, or you feeling like you're in a power struggle, or having to reclaim your sovereignty, having to, because the moon in Leo is definitely someone who is claiming the sovereignty over their mind, and they're refusing to be at war with their own mindset, and they're standing 10 toes down on their sovereignty, and letting the lavish abundance of the universe reign on them, right? Where with the Mercury in Scorpio, this could be either someone trying to, and even with the square to Mars, this can be an argument or somebody trying to challenge, abuse their authority even, or challenge your status, challenge your energy. And so it's highly recommended to do like mirror magic at this time with like maybe a black obsidian, or some shielding even. If you're doing like mirror magic with the black obsidian, this could either be like a return to sender, or like neutralizing the energy to transform it, alchemize it in that way. Just because there's so much, like we are in the thick of the darkness right now, which is, it's a beautiful thing because all potential is there, and the things that need to be destroyed are the destructive forces within us needs to come out and purge what is no longer serving, right? We have an immune system for a reason. And our immune system is meant to be the warriors for the body to stay healthy. And if you're not taking care of yourself, your immune system, it can get triggered, and you can get a cold, or you can get sick, and this, that, and the third. What that does is two things. It invites the opportunity for your immune system to become stronger, to fight harder, and be able to purge out that which is not serving your system, so it can upgrade itself. That way the cells in your body learn, They learn the data, they learn the information, so that next time they're better prepared for that type of energy, and they have their defenses up next time so that they're not necessarily getting sick. So this energy is a lot of root chakra activity of like fight, flight, freeze type energy. However, it's strongly advisable to you tap into your psychic energy, listen to your intuition, and honor the dark psychology, the dark side of your the psychology of your mind to help you navigate through this, and honor and realize where you may be trauma bonding that may need to end, to release yourself of your fears, of your traumas. That's where the Death card is coming in, for the transformation to occur so that you can move forward to your North Node without that challenge. And the moon in conjunct the North Node is showing where these challenges are, right? Where you may be operating from a space of too much ego, or just in this power struggle where you may either feel really defeated. I wouldn't be surprised if there's news of people having like even suicidal ideations. And I know that's a trigger warning, and I apologize very much if this is causing some of you discomfort. I definitely want y'all to know that it is very important for you to reach out to someone if you are feeling like you're having suicidal ideations. You can reach out to me if you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, and we can, take a couple breaths together and listen and see what resources may be available. Definitely reach out to someone that has the capability of holding space where, with a compassionate heart and a grounded energy, to be able to even anchor in a strong foundation when you may be feeling weak at this time. All right. And if you are on the receiving end of those phone calls, just being gentle with yourself, being honest with yourself, if you even have the capacity to hold space for that energy. And if you don't, how can you navigate this in a way that is not causing further issues for the individual who may be feeling really triggered at this time, because this energy is very much putting that out in the collective. There's a lot of death, there's a lot of abuse, there's a lot of shadows that is in the air right now to be confronted. And there's a difference between avoidance and protecting your peace. In the space where you are being an avoidance, you are not allowing yourself to confront your fears. You're not allowing yourself to tackle your challenges here in a space that you are in remembrance. I am sacred. I am safe. I am protected, and I am worthy of being in a joyful space. I am worthy of abundance. I am worthy of taking the time to heal. I am worthy of taking the time to find a solution for this issue here, and giving yourself that time, not rushing your process. And that's very important, because as an avoidant, you may not even want to deal with it at all. So you may try to just sweep it under the rug. And that's where the challenges come in this space. You cannot continue to ignore what is in your face. You got to start putting it to, put to rest truthfully that which is not serving you, not from a space of avoiding, but from a space of understanding, understanding, and overstanding the lesson and the principles of that situation, so that you can navigate forward with a healthy immune system, with a healthy discernment, with a healthy intuition, and not from a space of being at war with your mind, but knowing how to strategize. There's a difference between strategizing and surviving. Although they can serve each other, you have to know the time and place of that. And that's what this energy for today is really speaking on and highlighting. So Death card is transformation at this time. How do you build with the ashes, and how do you burn what needs to be put to ash?